Florida is home to some pretty amazing wildlife.
There are sandhill cranes, snakes, songbirds, hawks, and manatees. But one of the most elusive and ancient creatures that Florida is host to is
the alligator. These prehistoric beasts are, on average, 8 to 11 feet long and weigh as much as 1,000 pounds. That's a big animal.
In comparison, the average human is about 5 foot 5 inches and weighs about only 137 pounds.
In addition to their humongous size, they have a large U-shaped snout. This peculiar shape gives the alligator more jaw strength, which helps them bite through hard surfaces, such as the shell of a turtle.
Inside the alligator's snout is a very powerful jaw that holds about 74 to 80 dull teeth. Just as humans lose and replace teeth, alligators lose and replace theirs.
The only difference is that alligators don't just lose their teeth once. They go through about 3,000 teeth in their lifetime.
Like many animals, alligators are very vocal creatures. But what do they sound like? Alligators don't bark like dogs or meow like cats. Rather, they growl like dinosaurs.
When alligators talk, the noise that is produced is called bellowing. These amazing creatures bellow all year round. However, the bellowing dramatically increases during mating season.
Right above the alligator's mouth is its beaming eyes. We say beaming because the alligator's eyes glow in the dark.
Alligators have a light-sensitive cell placed over the top of their eye, and when light passes into the eyes, it hits a reflective layer in their retina called the tapetum lucidum.
This reflective layer is what causes the alligator's eyes to glow red.
Another cool feature that alligators have are their webbed feet and strong tail.
Alligators, like ducks, have feet that are designed to help them swim fast. They also have a strong tail that propels them through the water. Alligators may not walk on land very well, but because of their webbed feet and tail, they can swim as fast as 20 miles per hour.
Not only do alligators move at amazing speeds in the water, but they can also hide in plain sight. Because of their rough skin, alligators can camouflage themselves to look like a log floating in the water.
This ability is very helpful when the alligator goes hunting. By disguising themselves as logs, alligators can stalk their prey without ever being noticed.
Alligators are freshwater creatures, meaning their body does not process the salty water found in the ocean. Because of this, alligators live in environments with a lower salt content.
Also, alligators only like water that is slow-moving. This means you won't find an alligator in areas with rushing rapids or fast-moving waters. Instead, alligators like to abide in habitats with calm water. Places like lakes, rivers, and swamps are all excellent examples of where alligators can be found.
In addition to their desire for slow-moving water, alligators need a place that provides a good source of heat.
Alligators are ectothermic creatures, meaning they cannot produce their own body heat. However, alligators use external sources, such as the sun, to give them warmth. This process is called thermoregulation.
Because alligators cannot produce their own heat, they have to come up with some creative ways to warm themselves. By sitting on the shoreline during the day, they are able to absorb some of the heat produced by the sun.
If you ever see an alligator lying on the shore, you shouldn't get too close, because they might feel threatened by you.
Alligators are also known to dig holes in the mud, which is a great way to warm themselves during the day. Last but not least, alligators might swim to new areas that have warmer water.
We now know that alligators cannot produce their own heat and require external sources to warm them, but how does temperature affect them overall?
Well, the temperature outside impacts how active alligators are. For example, when the temperature outside is between 82 degrees Fahrenheit and 92 degrees Fahrenheit, alligators are the most active. When the temperature drops below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, they stop hunting and feeding.
And when the temperature drops below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, they become dormant. This means that their metabolism slows down and they begin a process called brumation.
Brumation differs from hibernation in that the alligator does not go to sleep. Rather, they are fully awake, they just don't do anything.
Alligators are usually dormant and in the brumation process for most of winter, and during this time they're usually found in their burrows and dens.
Like many predators, alligators are carnivores, meaning they only eat meat. And they are often referred to as opportunistic eaters, meaning they will eat just about anything that gets close enough.
Even though they will eat anything, their diet consists mainly of fish, frogs, birds, turtles, and snakes. But how does the alligator consume its food?
An alligator will do 3 things to eat their food, and it all depends on the size of their prey.
If their prey is small, they'll swallow it whole. If their prey is large, they'll shake it into smaller pieces, making it easier to eat.
Finally, if their prey is very large, they will use a technique called the death roll. The death roll consists of the alligator biting its prey and then spinning on the long axis of its body, tearing off smaller pieces. This makes it easier for the alligator to consume its prey.
Alligators become more active when the warm spring weather starts to blow in. This is also when nesting season begins.
The month of April is when alligators usually start their courtships. This process is very complex and involves a lot of vocalization, aka bellowing, bubble making, water slapping, and snout rubbing.
Around June, alligator pairs have mated, and the females will begin to build their nests. The nests are typically made out of dirt, sticks, and plants, and they can be as big as 2 to 3 feet high and 3 to 4 feet wide.
It's a good thing that these nests are big because they hold anywhere from 25 to 38 eggs.
Once the eggs have been laid, they'll rest in the nest and will hatch anytime from August through September.
Like many parents, female alligators are very protective over their unhatched babies.
Because about 1/3 of nests are destroyed by predators or flooding, female alligators are wary of anything that could cause harm to her babies, including humans.
Once the eggs have hatched, the baby gators stay together in a group called a pod. They stay in the pod until they reach 3 years of age.
Even though these hatchlings are traveling in a pod, they can still fall prey to other predators. And when they're in trouble, they'll let out a distress call. This alarms the mother, and she'll come to the baby's aid.
If you happen to see a baby alligator or even a nest with eggs in the wild, make sure to keep your distance because the mother alligator might be close behind, and she will defend her nest, which can be dangerous to you if you are too close.
This is, however, not an attack. Rather, it's a defensive maneuver to protect her eggs and young hatchlings.
At each stage of life, the alligator is presented with different predators. This has to do largely with the alligator's size and ability to fight back.
Alligator eggs are the most vulnerable because they have no way of protecting themselves. Raccoons, otters, and bears are just some of the animals that prey on alligator eggs.
Other things that can affect eggs are natural events. Even though alligators can survive underwater for great lengths of time, their eggs cannot. Drowning is just one way eggs are harmed by nature.
Like eggs, juvenile alligators also fall prey to raccoons. Where they differ is that juveniles can be preyed upon by hawks, large fish, and larger alligators.
Remember how we said that alligators are opportunistic eaters? Well, that means they are willing to eat smaller alligators.
Unlike juveniles and eggs, adult alligators do not have many natural predators. However, they too can fall victim to cannibalism of other alligators. Larger alligators are known to feast on weaker, smaller ones.
Cannibalism has very positive effects on the population by ensuring that the strongest survive and reproduce.
Other than cannibalism, the only other known threat to adult alligators are humans. Humans are known for hunting alligators, to use their skin for shoes, purses, and clothing.
The overhunting of alligators in the past created severe population declines. However, wildlife management practices have been successful at significantly increasing the wild alligator population, and they remain stable today.
Alligators have an extremely important role in the ecosystem. As we mentioned before, alligators dig holes or burrows in the mud to keep themselves warm. Well, once they leave these burrows, it fills with water and becomes drinking holes for other animals.
These apex predators also keep small animals from overpopulating an area. Without alligators, those animals would continue to multiply and the food chain would be thrown out of equilibrium. By eating these animals, alligators keep the food supply in check.
However, keeping the food chain in check goes both ways. While we may see this as sad, many juvenile alligators never make it to adulthood. These baby gators provide food to other animals in the ecosystem, such as raccoons and snakes.
Even though female alligators lay about 25 to 38 eggs, around only 5 actually reach full maturity or adulthood.
While many people are afraid of alligators because they look all mean and scary, they really just want to be left alone.
Dangerous human-alligator conflicts rarely occur unless the alligator feels threatened. So, if you see an alligator in the wild, respect its personal space and don't get too close. You can take a few pictures from a faraway distance, but make sure you do not invade their space.
We should learn how to connect, respect, and coexist with these magnificent creatures.
Alligators are a big part of the Florida ecosystem, and they are needed in order to make it run smoothly. By learning more about alligators, we can gain a better understanding about their lives.
This helps us connect with them, and instead of seeing them as a threat, we can learn to respect all that they do for the environment, and in time, learn to peacefully coexist.